My name's Samantha Carter, and I'm an artist who's spent half her life trying to paint herself into a family that never quite saw her. Growing up in a Chicago suburb, I'd lose myself in my dad's downtown gallery, sketching in corners while he mentored young artists. His hands, always smudged with charcoal, would guide mine, teaching me that art wasn't just about beauty. It was about truth. When cancer took him, I was 15, and the color drained from my world. My mom, a real estate agent with a knack for closing deals and closing off emotions, raised my twin brother Sebastian and me alone. She saw Sebastian as the golden ticket to stability, while my paintbrushes were just a childish distraction. One morning, over coffee in Mom's pristine kitchen, the air thick with the scent of her favorite dark roast, she dropped a bomb that changed everything. We sat at her sleek glass table, the kind that screamed success, but felt cold under my fingers. Sebastian, in his tailored blazer, sipped his coffee like he was posing for a magazine. I clutched my chipped mug, the one Dad used to keep in his gallery office, my nails digging into the ceramic as Mom spoke. "Samantha, Sebastian's taking over your father's gallery," she said, her voice calm, like she was discussing the weather. "He's shown he can handle money responsibly. It's the sensible choice." The words hit like a slap, stealing the air from my lungs. That gallery wasn't just a building, it was Dad's heart, his dream of a space where artists like me could shine. I'd spent years running my own tiny studio in Wicker Park, scraping by on coffee shop shifts and commission portraits, never asking for a dime. And now, Mom was handing it to Sebastian, who'd never set foot in an art class but knew how to charm investors with his smile. "Mom," I said, my voice tight, "I've been managing my studio for years. I've never missed rent. That gallery was supposed to be mine. Dad," and I talked about it, turning it into a space for my work for other artists. She stirred her coffee, not meeting my eyes. "Samantha, your art is lovely, but it's a hobby. Sebastian has plans, a retail complex, something that'll last." Sebastian shifted, his watch glinting under the kitchen lights. "Samantha, maybe we could. It's decided," Mom cut in, her tone final, like a gavel. "The papers are ready. The gallery transfers to Sebastian next week." I stared at Sebastian, searching for the brother who'd once snuck me snacks when Mom grounded me for painting on the walls. But all I saw was a stranger, his eyes fixed on his phone, avoiding me. The coffee turned bitter in my mouth, and I stood, my chair scraping the hardwood. "Congratulations, Sebastian," I said, my voice sharp enough to cut glass. "Hope you enjoy turning Dad's dream into a strip mall." "Samantha." Mom's voice snapped, but I was already grabbing my bag, the worn canvas strap a stark contrast to her spotless kitchen. "Don't be dramatic. This is for the family." "No," I said, heading for the door. "It's for Sebastian. Like always." The door closed behind me with a quiet click, louder in my heart than any slam. Outside, Chicago's spring breeze stung my eyes. Or maybe that was the tears I refused to let fall. My phone buzzed. Maya, my best friend since art school. "How'd it go?" I typed back, fingers trembling. "You were right. Mom's never gonna see me. She gave Sebastian everything." Her reply came fast. "Come over. I've got wine and a plan." As I drove through the city, past murals and neon signs, I thought of the painting waiting in my studio. A raw, jagged piece I'd started the night Dad died, when Mom had held Sebastian while I sat alone in the hospital, sketching to keep from breaking. That painting was different, darker, like the anger now burning in my chest. Mom thought she'd taken my future, but she just handed me something else, a reason to fight. Maya's apartment in Logan Square smelled like lavender candles and takeout tacos. She handed me a glass of red wine, her dark eyes scanning my face as I collapsed onto her couch. "Okay, spill," she said, curling up beside me. "What happened at Casa de Favoritism?" I recounted the coffee catastrophe, my voice cracking as I described Mom's dismissal of my art. Maya, who'd fought her own family's push for a real job, leaned forward, her braids swinging. "Samantha, your mom's got a blind spot for Sebastian bigger than Lake Michigan. But this is your chance." My chance. I snorted, sipping the wine. To lose everything Dad believed in? No, she said, her voice fierce. To show them what you're made of. You've been hustling for years, Samantha. Your studio, your classes, your commissions. You built that without her help. Now you've got nothing tying you to her expectations. You're free.
Free.
The word hung in the air, heavy with possibility. I thought of Dad, how he'd frame my childhood sketches like they were masterpieces, how he'd said, "Art's your voice, Samantha. Don't let anyone silence it." Mom's decision hadn't just taken the gallery, it had cut the last thread of hope that she'd ever see me as more than the artsy twin. And Maya was right. That was power. A few weeks later, I was up at dawn in my studio, a cramped loft in Wicker Park where the walls were a patchwork of paint splatters and dreams. I'd been working nonstop, pouring my heart into a new piece called Legacy, a canvas of shattered coffee mugs reflecting a burning gallery, inspired by that awful morning with Mom. My hands ached from late nights teaching retirees to paint and sketching portraits for picky clients, but every dollar went into this space, into this chance. My phone buzzed on the table, an unknown number. "Hello," I answered, expecting a spam call. "Is this Samantha Carter?" A man's voice, warm but professional. "I'm Carla Nguyen from Lakeview Gallery. I got your portfolio, and I have to say, Legacy stopped me in my tracks. It's raw, powerful. We had a cancellation for next month's slot. Would you be interested in a solo show?" My heart slammed against my ribs. Lakeview Gallery was a big deal. Chicago's art elite flocked there. I'd sent my portfolio on a whim, never expecting a call. "Yes," I managed, gripping the phone. "I'd love to meet." When I hung up, Maya, who'd been sorting paintbrushes, read my face and let out a whoop. "What?" "Spill." "Lakeview wants my work," I said, still dazed. "Next month. A solo show." She grabbed my shoulders, shaking me. "Samantha, this is it. Your moment." Then her face turned serious. "You need more pieces. Let's get to work." I nodded, picking up a brush. Mom and Sebastian were probably picking out marble countertops for their retail monstrosity, laughing at my hobby. But here, in this messy studio, I was building something real. Something mine. The next few weeks were a blur of paint and adrenaline. My studio became a battlefield, canvases stacked against walls, coffee cups piling up. Maya stayed late, keeping me sane with her playlists and brutal honesty. One night, as I hung string lights for a mock exhibition, she glanced at my phone, buzzing with a text from Sebastian. "Mom's making your favorite lasagna sundae. You coming?" I showed Maya, who rolled her eyes. Classic. They act like nothing happened. I typed back. "Busy. Big project deadline." His reply came fast. "Come on, sis." "Mom's upset. She misses you." "Upset?" I muttered, tossing the phone down. "She's upset because I'm not playing Happy Family while they gut Dad's gallery." Maya smirked, handing me a hammer. "Ignore them. Focus on Lakeview. You're about to blow their minds." The morning of my meeting with Carla, I walked into Lakeview Gallery, nerves jangling like loose change. The space was all sleek lines and soft lighting, a far cry from my chaotic studio. Carla, a sharp-eyed woman with a warm smile, led me through the gallery, gushing over Legacy. "This piece," she said, pausing by my mock-up, "it's like you've trapped a storm in a coffee cup. We're setting up your show in 3 weeks. Can you deliver 10 pieces?" "Absolutely," I said, my confidence masking the panic in my gut. 10 pieces in 3 weeks? I'd barely slept in days. Back at the studio, I worked like a woman possessed, each brushstroke a rebellion against Mom's words, Sebastian's smugness. Maya kept me fed and grounded, but even she couldn't stop the dreams. Dad's gallery, now a soulless mall, while my paintings gathered dust. Then, 2 days before the show, Sebastian showed up at Lakeview while I was hanging pieces. He strolled in, all designer confidence, like he owned the place. "Surprise, sis," he said, arms wide. "Heard about your little art thing. Mom saw it on Instagram, Lakeview tagged you." I froze, hammer in hand. "What do you want, Sebastian?" He wandered to Legacy, tilting his head. Not bad. Look, we're opening the retail complex soon. Thought we could hang some of your stuff in the lobby. Show family support. The audacity burned. You want my art as decoration in the place you stole from me? It's not stealing, he snapped. It's business. Mom made a choice. Yeah, I said, stepping closer. And it's always you, isn't it? Never me. Carla appeared, sensing the tension. Everything okay, Samantha? Fine, I said, not breaking eye contact with Sebastian. My brother was just leaving. He hesitated, then shrugged. Your call, sis. But when this art thing flops, don't come crying to us. As he left, Julian Hayes, the art critic, approached, his press badge swinging. Samantha, your work's got everyone talking. Legacy is a masterpiece, betrayal and beauty in every stroke. I'm writing my review now. I exhaled, the weight of Sebastian's words lifting. Thanks, Julian. That means a lot. He smiled, typing on his phone. This isn't just a show. It's a statement. Opening night at Lakeview Gallery felt like stepping into a dream I wasn't sure I deserved. My black dress clung to me as I adjusted frames, my hands shaking despite Maya's pep talk. You're a rock star, she said, thrusting a champagne flute into my hand. Own it. The gallery filled fast, Chicago's art crowd in their tailored coats, murmuring over my paintings. Red dots appeared beside pieces, signaling sales. Julian weaved through the crowd, his review already live, crashing my website with traffic. No phones tonight, he said, catching me checking. Live this moment, Samantha. By the time Carla announced 5 pieces sold, I was dizzy with disbelief. A woman in a silk scarf lingered by Legacy, wiping tears. It's about family, isn't it? She said. The way it breaks and rebuilds you. Before I could answer, Sebastian walked in, his suit rumpled, eyes shadowed. The crowd parted as he approached. Samantha, we need to talk, he said, too loud. Maya stepped forward, but I waved her off. What now, Sebastian? He lowered his voice. The retail project's tanking. Investors are bailing. I need your help. I laughed, sharp and bitter. You're asking me for help? After everything? Samantha, please, he said, desperation cracking his charm. Mom's a wreck. We could lose it all. Julian appeared with a couple, the Wilsons, who wanted a commission. Bad time? He asked, eyeing Sebastian. No, I said, turning away. Sebastian's leaving. Tomorrow morning, my studio. We'll talk. He nodded, defeated, and slipped out. The rest of the night was a whirlwind. Every piece sold except Legacy, which I'd marked not for sale. Carla hugged me, calling it their most successful debut. Maya grinned, scrolling Twitter. Your brother's project is trending for all the wrong reasons. Karma's a beast. I looked at Legacy, its broken mugs glowing under the lights. I don't want to destroy him, I said, surprising myself. I just want to be seen. Julian raised his glass. Oh, you're seen, Samantha. The whole city's watching. Sunday dinner at Mom's was like walking into a lion's den with a paintbrush. I only went because Maya threatened to hide my canvases if I didn't face the music. Mom's dining room, all polished oak and crystal, felt like a museum to her perfect life. She served roast chicken, my favorite, but it tasted like cardboard as I pushed it around my plate. We've missed you, Samantha, Mom said, pouring wine. Her smile was tight, like she was trying to glue our family back together. Sebastian cleared his throat. We found Dad's old sketchbooks in the gallery storage. Saved them for you. I set down my fork. Nice of you to save his scraps after taking his dream. Samantha, Mom warned, her knife scraping her plate. Don't start. No, let's start. I leaned forward, wine fueling my courage. You gave Sebastian the gallery because he's responsible. So why's his project 3 months behind, bleeding money while he's posting yacht pics from Miami? Sebastian choked on his drink. How did you, investors talk? I said, pulling out my phone. They're not thrilled about your networking expenses, like that new Tesla. Mom's face paled. Sebastian, you said it was on track. It is, he snapped, loosening his tie. Just some hiccups. Hiccups? I laughed. Your investors are ready to sue. The silence was suffocating. Mom's hands shook as she set down her glass. Samantha, why are you doing this? Because you picked him, I said, my voice steady despite the ache in my chest. Every time. And now you're both pretending nothing's wrong while Dad's gallery turns into a joke. I stood, grabbing my coat. My exhibition's next week. Don't bother coming. You're too busy with Sebastian's mess. Mom followed me to the door. Samantha, please. I thought I was doing what's best. You thought wrong, I said, stepping into the Chicago night. You always have. Back in my studio, I started a new painting, not of anger, but of strength. Maya texted. Truth bombs landed, more like a nuclear strike, I replied. Now I paint. The next morning, Mom and Sebastian showed up at my studio, looking like they'd barely slept. Mom's pearls were gone, replaced by a simple scarf. Sebastian's suit was creased, his confidence gone. I'd set up a small table with Dad's old coffee mugs, a quiet nod to the day they'd broken me. Let's talk, I said, pouring coffee. How bad is it? Sebastian slumped in his chair. Investors want their money back. Construction's halted. We could lose everything. Mom's voice was thin. Samantha, I was wrong. About the gallery, about you. Your exhibition, it was incredible. I held up a hand. This isn't about my art. It's about Dad's legacy, the one you threw away. We can fix it, Sebastian said. Maybe turn it back into a gallery. I don't want it. I cut in. I've built my own path. But I have a plan. I leaned forward, meeting their eyes. Julian knows art investors looking for a Chicago project. They'll buy out your debts, rebuild the gallery as an arts hub, not a mall. But I call the shots. Mom's eyes widened. You do that? For us. Not for you, I said. For Dad. Here's the deal. I control the project. 20% of profits fund a scholarship for young artists in Dad's name. And you both admit publicly you were wrong about me. Sebastian paced, staring at legacy. This is about that coffee morning, isn't it? When Mom chose me. It's about every morning, I said. Every time my dreams were a phase. Every time you got the spotlight. Mom's tears fell silently. I thought I was protecting us. You didn't, I said, softer now. But we can make it right. For Dad. They exchanged a look, then nodded. Okay, Sebastian said. Your terms. As they left, Mom whispered to Sebastian, when did she get so strong? I smiled, picking up my brush. I'd always been strong. They just never looked. The press conference was Mom's idea, a public mea culpa in front of Dad's old gallery in Chicago's Loop. Renovation plans stood on easels behind us, blueprints for the Carter Arts Hub. I stood beside Mom as she stepped to the microphone, her voice unsteady. Months ago, I made a mistake, she said. I took my husband's gallery, his dream, and tried to turn it into something it wasn't. In doing so, I failed my daughter, Samantha, and this city's artists. Cameras flashed. Julian, in the front row, scribbled furiously, giving me a nod. Sebastian spoke next, his usual polish gone. We're restructuring the project under Samantha's leadership. This will be Chicago's largest arts hub, a place for new voices. A reporter called out, Is it true investors are suing for mismanagement? Resolved, I said smoothly. Our new partners, the Midwest Arts Coalition, are fully committed. After the questions, Mom pulled me aside. I sold my jewelry to fund the scholarship. I want to help. I nodded, surprised by the warmth in my chest. That's a start, Mom. Maya burst through, grinning. Did I miss the groveling? Just in time, I said, laughing as Mom actually smiled. It'll be on the news. Inside the gallery, Sebastian showed me Dad's old desk, set up just as it was, complete with the lopsided nameplate I'd made at 10, Art Director Extraordinaire. He loved this, Sebastian said. Never took it off. Tears pricked my eyes. You kept it. Always, Mom said.
He saw you, Samantha.
I was the one who missed it. The Carter Arts Hub opened on a crisp Chicago evening, its skylights casting a glow over paintings by 20 local artists, each chosen by our new committee. The space hummed with energy, a living tribute to Dad's vision. Maya adjusted my blazer, whispering, "You did this, Samantha. You built a legacy." A young artist, Zoe, approached, clutching a portfolio, her hands stained with paint like mine once were. "Miss Carter, I'm a scholarship recipient. I just thank you." "Show me your work," I said, spreading her sketches across a table. Mom watched from across the room, her smile proud, not performative. "Zoe, this portrait's stunning. How about a solo show in our emerging artist space?" Her gasp was worth every fight I'd endured. "Really? But I'm nobody." "So was I said. "All it takes is someone believing in you." Sebastian and Julian joined us, Julian announcing, "The Arts Council's talking more funding." And Sebastian, "Your logistics work is impressing them." Sebastian grinned, looser than I'd ever seen him. "I'm learning, sis." Mom handed me an envelope, Dad's handwriting scrawled across it. "For Samantha, when you're ready." Inside was a sketch of me, young and painting, then older, standing tall in this very gallery. At the bottom, "Some create art. You, Samantha, create possibility." He knew, I whispered, Mom's hand on mine. As we cut the ribbon, the crowd cheered, but I saw only Dad's nameplate by the entrance, now joined by a new line, "Where dreams find home." This wasn't revenge, it was redemption, a palette of pain and hope mixed into something new. To everyone who's followed this journey, thank you. You've seen me through betrayal, battles, and breakthroughs. If my story stirred something in you, hit subscribe and join us, where every canvas tells a tale of grit, heart, and new beginnings. Keep painting your truth, and I'll meet you in the gallery.